Hi, Ben here with Amtex Equipment. This is the beginning of a series of videos that we at Amtex decided to do for you. Not only help you how to maintain and how to do your preventive maintenance for your machine, but also how to repair it, regardless of what repair. From heat exchanger to rebuilding pump, engines, troubleshooting engine, rebuilding them, servicing, rebuilding your blowers and what have you. Because we want to minimize your expensive visit to the repair centers. As far as today's video, we're going to start with our heat exchanger system. Let's say you receive a system from us. After a while, you might have some defectiveness in its heating system, or you might have a defective coils and what have you, or maybe you left the system outside and the freezing weather kind of damaged the coil. Today we're going to show you how to replace and remove and replace our heat exchanger with a new one. But before we get into that, I want to show you how our heat exchangers are made. We do build them in three different kind of configurations. The smallest one we make is about 55 feet long, it comes in 2 layers of 3/8 stainless steel tubing, which is made for some of the machine that we do in the market, because we do deal with the different industries out there, not only just carpet cleaners. But after all, the carpet cleaning industry, it is one of the major industries that we deal with. Next one, it is the medium size, which is 4 layers. This coil, it all depends on its length. It could vary anywhere from 135 to 150 feet of coil. And of course, we go to the large size, which is going to average anywhere from 215 to 230 feet of coil. Now, the most popular one that we build, it is the one with 4 layers, because when you're dealing with coil system and when you have pressure from the pump enters them, per every 100 feet of coil, it all depends on the diameter of the coil, you do have pressure loss. For example, in the size 3/8 that we have, per every 100 feet of coil, you do lose 40 psi. So that's why we recommend, if you're going to do carpet cleaning with our system, set the system at 600 psi, because we know, especially with the Infernos that we build with dual heat exchangers, you do have combination of 300 feet of coil. So by the time the water enters into the first coil and exit the second coil, you do get about a good 120 psi loss of pressure. So the pressure you're going to get out of your one is going to be 480, which is kind of close to 500 psi, which is recommended for the carpet cleaning. Now, our coil systems are made very simple. There is no need for any kind of special type of shop to look into them. You can simply contact us online, or I can contact us by phone, and we'll be able to walk you through how to replace them. Let's say today what we have shown you a very simple casing. This is the casing that we build for our heat exchangers. It comes about the 17 inch long, 6 inch in diameter. You do have a laser cut flange, which you do have strategically positioned holes for you to be able to put the back plate on. Now, when we send you the coil, it comes to you in this style. It's already set, ready to go. As far as our coil system, this is the one that we have in the center right here. If you notice, right here on the plate, they are simply connected with the compression fittings. These fittings are designed to handle up to 5,000 psi. One of the areas that makes our coil very unique and with constant heat production is that heat enhancer plate that we designed for it, which it is what it does as the exhaust of the engine enters from the back, which is going to be from this part of the cylinder. As he enters, he cannot get out as easy. You notice at the end you do have the plate, so you're going to create semi type of back pressure, of course safe for the engine, so you will not have any problem as far as your exhaust valves and what have you, but create massive amount of heat. That's what the Inferno puts out. Now, as far as doing your coils and replacements, very simple. Like I said, it comes to you, our coil system or our heat exchangers that consist of a tubing, which is 17 inches long. And of course, you do have a flange here with laser cut position holes, which matches the one on the back plate. What you're going to need, normally the kit comes to you with 8 1/4 inch 20 bolts with the fasteners next to it. And as far as installing it, you're going to need either 2 7/16 or number 11 wrenches, or you need 1 wrench and 1 ratchet. As far as putting the coil in, is very simple. Take a look at what I'm doing. They're already preset, they're ready to go for you. All you do is just simply enter it, and as you insert it, you should be able to match your holes. Now, what you're going to need, you're going to need 2 small screwdrivers. Why we need this? Because we want to be able to line them up. Leave one here and one kind of across from it. Now I'll be able to enter my bolts. Enter all your bolts first. Let's say we have already put our bolts. Once we make sure that we can get the coil set up and ready to go, we have no problem as far as getting the new coil into the old heat exchanger casing. We're going to go ahead and remove it, because the next step is going to be applying the silicone. Why we need silicone? Because all heating coil system, they do condensate. What is condensation? Where does it come from? Okay, as the engine runs, of course, it blows hot exhaust into the coil, and of course you do have a cold water entering the coil. So the air outside of the surface of the coil, because you do have a hot air blowing on it and you do have a cold water entering the coil, the very fine layer of air that's outside of the coil starts sweating. It all depends on the humidity outside. So that humidity, that water gotta go somewhere. That's why the way we have positioned our exhaust is right there at the bottom, at the end. So when you have your water, the condensation water, as it drips into the box, rolls into this hole, and of course with the compression of the engine blows out, which you can see it coming out of your exhaust with just a driplet of water. It all depends how humid outside is. Sometimes you might get a lot of moisture coming out, and you might be in a dry climate, you might hardly see any. So it all depends on the humidity outside, what type of moisture pump out you're going to see out of your heat exchangers. Now, let's say we already have check and see if our coil sits and is perfectly lined up. Now, every coil comes to you in one position. Means at the bottom, if you notice, there are an area that we have popped for that condensation water, which I just told you, for it to be able to exit the coating, roll into the casing and get pumped out. So you make sure that your drainages be facing down. And of course the next step is going to be, if you notice there is a gap in between the flange that's going to fasten the back plate, what we're going to use simple high temperature silicone, which when you order these, or if you get one of these, as far as the warranty, they do come to you, the coil will come to you with a silicone, and of course with new bolts. Never use the old bolts because they're not going to be strong enough. That's why we send you a complete 8 set of nuts and bolts, so you don't have to use the older one. Now there is no need for you to over apply the silicone. All you need to put the silicone is just areas where you have the opening. Once you put the silicone in, you go ahead and put the coil back. Again, you're going to bring your 2 screwdrivers to do your lineups. Once you have a perfect lineup, you go ahead and put in the bolts, tie the bolts in any patterns you like. You can do them across from each other, or you can simply just go around and simply tie them. And that's going to be done. So this is how you do your repair on your heat exchangers for Amtex. Again, like I said, this is a part of the a series of video that I'm going to post on the internet for our customers to be able to do the repairs on their machine, as far as any other components that they might run into, as far as rebuilding the pumps and what have you. So the training is not going to stop here till I train all of you guys how to take care of your own unit without any need of service shop. Until then, we see each other and we thank you.